colleagues from Glenmark, and we are going to be around. If you have questions, we could catch up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Khera, for keeping it very brief. Without further ado, we will now move on to the next sector, tourism and hospitality. I would like to request Dr. Manoj Mittal, co-founder and chief executive officer of Vedant Cure Healthcare LLP, to share his perspectives.
Care and facilities often at a fraction of the cost they would incur at home. At the same time, medical tourism also provides an avenue for healthcare providers to expand their reach and impact, tapping into a global market of patients who are seeking the best care possible. As we continue to navigate the evolving landscape of medical tourism, I am excited to explore the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead, and to engage in a dynamic conversation that advances our shared goals of improving healthcare outcomes. Today, I invite you to join me in a thoughtful discussion that explores the promise and potential of medical tourism. Let me put my thoughts in a shape presentation. Do we have to video if, almost, yeah, you can play the video if you want.
Atithi Devo Bhava is a Sanskrit phrase that means the guest is equivalent to God. This reflects the hospitality in Indian culture and the value placed on treating guests with respect and kindness in India. India is most popular tourist destination in the world due to its land, cultural heritage and diversity. Places like Taj Mahal, Golden Temple, forts and palaces of Rajasthan, beaches of Goa, backwaters of Kerala are popular among tourists. India is also known for another kind of tourism, and that is called medical tourism. It is one of the leading medical tourism destinations in the world, offering high-quality medical treatments at a fraction of the cost compared to many other countries. The medical tourism industry in India is projected to reach $9 billion by 2026. Currently, it is attracting more than 500,000 foreign patients every year. The cost of medical procedures in India is much lower than in many other countries, making it an affordable option for patients from around the world. For example, heart surgery in India costs around $3,000, while the same procedure in the US can cost up to $150,000. India has a large pool of highly skilled doctors and healthcare professionals. India also has more than 1,000 accredited hospitals, many of which are equipped with state-of-the-art technology and facilities, and of course, Indian nurses are among the best in the world. Even the most budget-conscious traveler can afford first-rate service and luxury amenities in India. The most popular treatments sought by medical tourists in India include cardiac surgeries, joint replacements, cancer treatments, cosmetic surgeries, and infertility treatments. The majority of medical tourists visiting India are from neighboring countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan, as well as African countries like Nigeria, Kenya, and Tanzania. In recent years, there is a sharp rise in patients coming from US, UK, Europe, and Middle East because of the quality of services, state-of-art facilities, and world-renowned doctors that India offers. India is known for its advanced cardiac care facilities and experienced cardiac surgeons, and therefore cardiac surgeries are one of the most popular procedures among medical tourists. Orthopedic surgery is yet another popular procedure carried out in India. Joint replacement surgeries like knee replacement and hip replacement, spine surgeries, and sports medicine are among the most commonly performed on.
Thank you. I'm not playing the full since it is few minutes more. So to conclude, Northeast gives a lot of opportunities in the medical tourism sector, being a neighboring country, and there are alternative medicines, wellness treatments, and ecotourism opportunities in this area. rich tradition of Ayurveda and traditional medicine, potential for holistic and customized healthcare services, collaboration between the government, healthcare providers, storage operators is helping us. So come explore Northeast and experience the best of alternative medicine, wellness treatments and adventure activities while enjoying the natural beauty of this Himalayan paradise. India has everything to be the hub of medical tourism, says our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Modi ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mittal, for the brief video presentation. Moving forward in the same sector, may I now invite the last speaker from the panel, Mr. Jayanta Das, Area Director of Northeast, Kathmandu, Bhutia and Darjeeling, and General Manager of Vivanta Guwahati, the Indian Hotels Company Limited, to share his perspectives.
A very good afternoon, respected dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. So I am here to talk about the opportunities of multilateral business partnership in tourism and hospitality for the Northeast. I represent the Tata ISL, which is popularly known as Taj Group. I'll briefly talk about our organization and the insight that we have overall in terms of tourism for Northeast. So in the words of our founder, Jamsetji Tata, in a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder in business, but is in fact the very purpose of its existence. So this is an organization which is around 137 years old, a legacy of trust since 1886. We operate in around 150 countries, a revenue of around $100 billion US, 100 plus operating companies, around 7 lakhs employees, known for our pioneering spirit. We are the first in India to have a steel plant, airline, passenger car and luxury hotels. We are among the top 10 corporates in the world, wherein 60% of our revenue actually comes from abroad, outside India. 28 listed companies with a market cap of more than $160 billion. Nation building, which has been our core purpose, and through Tata Trust have helped set up institutions like Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Tata Institute of Social Science, Indian Institute of Science, Tata Memorial Hospital, Tata Medical Center, and of late Assam Cancer Care Foundation. This is briefly about the organization that I represent, which is the hospitality arm of the Tatas, the ISL, Indian Hotels Company Limited, which is the South Asia's largest hospitality company. Since 1903, since the opening of the iconic of the Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai, ISL has welcomed guests with world-class refinement and warmth, while remaining deeply rooted in local heritage and strong global values. From living grand palaces to jungle safaris, landmark hotels to idyllic resorts, from contemporary residences to exquisite Epicurean experiences, and more, ISL invites you to explore its world of unforgettable hospitality. We are present in around 10 plus countries, 125 locations, 250 hotels, around 400 plus restaurants, 80 plus spas, 28,000 rooms, and an equal number of colleagues, 28,000 employees. We developed a hospitality ecosystem with a legacy of iconic brands. I'll not go through the brands, I think they're all known to us. They're by themselves extremely iconic. As an Indian organization, I think we all should be proud of, and we are humbled and proud to be recognized by Brand Finance as the world's strongest hotel brand in 2022 and the India's strongest brand across all sectors. Now, talking about Northeast as a tourist destination, that's where our focus is. While addressing the 65th plenary of the Northeast Council in May 2016, our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, shared what the Northeastern states offer to the rest of the world. To quote him, all the states of the Northeast region are blessed with natural scenic beauty, distinct historical, cultural, and ethnic heritage. All this offers tremendous scope for tourism in the region. There is also a great scope for mountaineering, trekking, and adventure tourism in the region. If developed and promoted well, this can emerge as the biggest employer in the region. It can also add to the growth and income of the region. Unquote. Now, Northeast is a tourist destination. Why should we visit Northeast? The Northeastern states are blessed with unexplored natural landscape, salubrious weather, rich unexplored biodiversity, well-preserved flora and fauna, mysteries of the indigenous tribe, historical sites with distinct cultural and ethnic heritage, evident hospitality spirit among the local people, last and not the least, gastronomic delights, like Brigadier was saying about the local cuisine. So these are the few things which are important in each of our states, our 8 states. I put them up. So each states have very, very distinctive features and reasons and USPs why we should visit those states. For paucity of time, I'll just move fast on this. So since I'm in Sikkim, Sikkim is the first organic state in the world. It's not only about using organic fertilizers, but also showcase change of lifestyle and waste management. I think that's probably the biggest USP of Sikkim, apart from other attractions, of course. We have seen immense progress over the years in these northeastern states. In coordination with government entities, the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, which is the donor, has been a forerunner in supporting the tourism industry of the Northeast, working extensively in the following areas: infrastructure development, capacity building to tourism-related training of youths, holding workshops and activities around community-based ecotourism, supporting aviation, promotion of tourism advocacy program, which includes expos and business summits, crafts and cultural festivals showcased in major cities. The Northeast Council has been tirelessly working on the economic and social development and improving connectivity of the region for all development activities. Focus from Government of India saw active participation and involvement of different union ministries. This ensured continuous monitoring of projects pertaining to infrastructure, construction of roadways, and launch of new initiatives. So the region is now largely peaceful with efforts from the government thanks to the dynamic leadership from the state and central government. The connectivity has improved to new airports, railway lines and roadways. So we have seen a lot of infrastructure growth over the last 8-9 years in terms of roads, in terms of railways, in terms of airports, etc. So the details are here, and I'll probably push to the next slide. So what are the opportunities for tourism sectors, particularly in Northeast? Tourism is the backbone of India, and in particular the pristine environment help set new forms of tourism in motion, which are sustainable tourism, unexplored culinary tales, and experiential tourism. Investment opportunity not only refer to building hotels or F&B spaces, but creating an overall ecosystem which is conducive to tourism, resulting in upliftment of ancillary businesses like transportation, public facilities, etc. And we have seen huge improvement over the last 8 years. Tourism is based on experience. In a hugely competitive space, there's always a requirement to bring freshness, and India has been successful in creating these niche markets, like palaces in Rajasthan, beaches of Goa, and blending with nature in Kerala. And I think that's where, as an organization, we have always pioneered, and now is the time for mesmerizing Northeast to be showcased across all platforms, and I think that's why we are all here today. So with the changing dynamic of the tourists with regards to expectations and demands needs to be woven in our offerings. So I think these are, now what has come up is the special interest tourism, the nostalgia tourism, and most importantly, environmentally and socially sensitive tourism. I think that's what should be the positioning for us across Northeast in terms of tourism, focusing on the carbon footprint, reduction and less polluted destinations, and Sikkim has shown us the path, sustainable approach to be adopted by promoting the natural abundance that the region offers. So some focus points that we are strengthening, as we are strengthening our strategy for Northeast, special focus on conservation of natural, archaeological, historical and cultural tourism products, focus on a range of cultural product offerings through visual and performing arts, traditional ceremonies and costumes, fair and festivals, oral literature, life and lifestyles. I think involving the local communities is one of the most key elements, important key elements for tourism. Now this is something that I would probably spend a minute here to understand as an organization, ISCL, how we are focused in terms of development of tourism and overall economic growth for the region across Northeast, including Sikkim. So we had one hotel way back in 2015 which got operational in December 2015, which is the Vivanta at Guwahati. And as I talk to you, over the last few years, we have right now around 9 hotels and 3 homestays, luxury homestays in this region. And to talk about Sikkim, we have a beautiful Vivanta Pavilion, which we opened in 2021 December, a little more than a year now. And as I stand here, over the next 3 to 4 months, we are coming up with a Taj luxury resort close to Gangtok and also a Ginger. So there's a huge focus that we have in terms of tourism across Northeast and of course in Sikkim. And this is where we are heading towards. In addition to the 9 hotels that we already have, as I showed in the last slide, we are at different stages of discussion for 12 new hotels across Northeast, across the 8 states. So with that 12, we would have almost around 20 plus hotels in our portfolio across Northeast. In line with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, with a lot of humility, I must say, we are the only branded hospitality company who have a focused approach on Northeast as a destination with a definite roadmap. Talking about multilateral partnerships, which has a huge opportunity, the hospitality market has grown by 7.7% in the last year and is expected to maintain an upward trajectory. A similar trend is of course evident in Northeast as well. The focused growth is expected to be a strong contributor to the overall GDP of the region. I think after COVID, there's been a lot of initiatives that has been taken to promote tourism, and these policies have further boosted the sector. And I'm sure there are enough and more opportunities for branded hospitality companies along with the local operators to collaborate with local partners along with government agencies on a PPP framework and the community to present Northeast India as a viable investment destination for tourism infrastructure and the surrounding ecosystem. To conclude, and just the last slide, Brigadier. Northeast India, the perfect land of 8 wonders, captivating natural beauty combined with a rich culture heritage. What a happy marriage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Das. That concludes the presentations by the panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the speakers a big round of applause. I would now like to invite the representatives from the G20 countries to share their views with us. As I call out the names, may I please request the delegates to come up to the podium one by one. May I also inform that the delegates will be given only 2 minutes each, as we have a long list of delegates who would be speaking. May I please call upon Mr. Ferhat Sunel, His Excellency, Ambassador, Embassy of Turkey.
Namaste, dear participants, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be very short. First of all, I'm very happy to be here in this beautiful state, and thank you all for the hospitality. And also, I thank Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, for hosting us here today. So the world is in the age of rapid transformation. We believe that effective multilateralism and international cooperation should be the response. And of course, business partnership consists a significant focus to this end. Thus, we appreciate the B20 initiative in the framework of G20, Presidency of India. As Minister Çavuşoğlu, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey, indicated during the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting in Delhi in early March, G20 has the sources to build and equip effective tools to enhance global well-being. We believe that while working with a view to strengthening effective multilateralism, regional dimensions should not be skipped as well. Exploring the regional potentials will definitely help us to realize India's global skill mapping priority for G20. With its unique nature, beautiful environment, expertise in agriculture and pharma products, and fast-growing economy, Sikkim is a promising state for India's economy and investments. I can really frankly say that Sikkim is a small state, but the potential is big. Turkey, alongside with several other sectors, has been giving particular importance to agri-food, chemical and pharma sectors for both investment and international trade. And tourism can be another sector for bilateral relations. Last year, Turkey was visited by 52 million foreign tourists. Not the number of total visitors, but foreign tourists. And it makes Turkey the third most visited country all over the world. And we have experience not only in mass tourism, but also ecotourism, adventure tourism, health tourism, etc. So we have immense experience in this regard, and we are ready to share our experience with Sikkim. So we are ready to work further on this agenda, both on bilateral and multilateral levels. I hope our meetings today will provide productive results to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency. The next speaker whom I'd like to invite is Mrs. Eleonora Dimitrova, Her Excellency Ambassador, Embassy of Bulgaria.
But the clearly the one just called it will be our fault, the foreign delegates, so please excuse us. Your Excellency, dear colleagues, ambassadors and high commissioners, dear ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to thank the government of Sikkim, the Ministry of External Affairs, the government of India and the CII for organizing this B20 conference and for having us here. I believe in a post-pandemic environment, now is the right time to have such forums and to speak and to seek reinvigoration of partnerships and new partnerships. The increase of our bilateral turnover in the last decade has been more than threefold. We would like this trade growth to increase further and to further expand the partnership between my country, Bulgaria, and India, especially in spheres like tourism and hospitality, pharmaceuticals, and traditional medicines, which are among the key industries for the Bulgarian economy. Before the pandemic, tourism and hospitality contributed around 12% of the Bulgarian GDP. Because my country, Bulgaria, same as India and Sikkim in particular, is very much a tourism-oriented country. We have everything, a mild climate with 4 seasons throughout the year, wonderful summer beaches and winter resorts, rich culture, ancient history, mountains, rivers, delicious food and wine. With more than 400 world-famous movies shot in Bulgaria, my country is one of the best rising film destinations in Europe, as in Sikkim for India. You can have a glimpse of Bulgarian breathtaking landscapes in some of the big-budget Bollywood movies like Dilwali, Shivai, Bahubali, Brahmastra, RRR, among many others. Bulgarian pharmaceutical market has been growing in double digits for the last decade, outpacing some other fast-growing markets in Central and Eastern Europe region. The Bulgarian pharmaceutical market has surpassed $2.5 billion. We rank top 20 in the world in clinical trial performed, which is valued at $300 million and offers great potential for research organizations. Partnership possibilities also exist in the sphere of traditional medicines, including but not limited to herbal medicine, aromatherapy, balneo, and spa procedures. Herbal medicine is a branch of traditional medicine practiced in our country since ancient times, which can provide spheres for interaction and business cooperation. Bulgaria is famous as the leading producer and exporter of rose and lavender oil. We are number 1 in the world in lavender production. Bulgaria is famous destination for balneo and spa procedures and ranks second in Europe in number of mineral springs, which are natural hot waters used for medical treatment. It is worth to mention that balneo and spa tourism was one of the most resilient sectors of our economy during the pandemic due to the increased demand for holistic ways to improve health and immunity, and this trend will continue for sure in this sector, and it offers a good opportunity for cooperation and tourism. Despite the objective hardships over the last 2-3 years, Bulgaria and India managed to maintain and extend the long-standing amicable relationship. India continues to be the most important and natural partner of Bulgaria in the region of South Asia. Bulgaria can be a gateway for the Indian companies to the vast 500 million strong market of the European Union. Many Indian companies already started successful business and investments in Bulgaria in the field of IT, steel industry, defense industry, engineering, film shooting. They have also been successful Bulgarian investments in India. We take pride that in the recent years Bulgarian entrepreneurs with their company Excitol Broadband have strengthened their position as the fastest growing internet provider in New Delhi and 40 other Indian cities, hopefully soon in Sikkim. They provide at present internet to close to 1 million subscribers in India and direct employment of more than 2,400 people. Bulgarian company Hero Pharma has established a manufacturing plant for veterinary medicines in Pune. These are just to name a few of the success stories. Without taking much of your time, I think that this inspiring good practices showcase what our countries can do in the spirit of friendship and cooperation. And thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you, Her Excellency. May I now invite Mr. Fleming Rao Duarte to come and share his thoughts. His Excellency Ambassador, Embassy of Paraguay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Dear dignitaries and advisors, also to my colleagues present here in such a very nice and hospitable place called Sikkim. At the outset, I wish to congratulate the government of India for the presidency of G20, and particularly to the authorities of CAI jointly with the state of Sikkim for leading the initiative for the business conclave today in Bangkok. This year has given to India the lead to lead the G20 and thus the opportunity to promote and open up each state to the world, including Sikkim. I would also like to thank the CAI team for giving us this opportunity to share some relevant information about my country, Paraguay, specifically in agribusiness, opportunities, and tourism. I must say that Sikkim, as Paraguay, is a landlocked area, but we have been blessed by nature because we are also have a lot of natural beauty, very green country, and rivers. I believe this year will be a major success for promoting business opportunities and deepen South-South cooperation in different fields like climate change and the most important aspect today to overcome problems stem from COVID-19 and also logistics, specifically in the delivery of goods and food. For precision and digital agriculture companies that want to invest in the region, specifically in Paraguay, it is worth knowing the opportunities. I would like to stress the opportunities in developing organic products. My country, Paraguay, is a country located in the center of South America with a population of 7.5 million people. Paraguay has a long history of agricultural production. Throughout its history, agriculture in Paraguay has been the mainstay of the economy. Paraguay already has fertile land and a well-established agricultural industry. The country has the necessary population of farmers, reserved areas of farming, and very functional agricultural goods industry. Paraguay's competitive advantage in agriculture lies in such products like organic sugar. We are first exporter of organic sugar in the world. Also, stevia, we run second exporter in the world. Soybeans, cotton, oilseeds, and tropical fruits. The Paraguay government has been supporting the agricultural industry with a number of policies, trying to stabilize the output and seeking ways to ensure the sector is growing, healthy, and sustainable. The government has been encouraging the sector for decades, and there is a broad political consensus as to the need for land, labor, and tax reform to help the sector reach its potential. We have all the right efforts to integrate new agricultural technologies to improve the sector efficiency and increase land productivity. I would like also to remark that collaboration, and partnership with Sikkim entrepreneurs are open in my country. Some of the key areas of agricultural cooperation between India and of course Sikkim include agricultural equipment and machinery, fertilizer, food processing, horticulture, sustainable farming, agrotech, and livestock. India and Sikkim firms can make investment in most of these sectors in Paraguay specifically, and vice versa, and of course across Mercosur, South Common Market, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Bolivia, Chile, and Paraguay can engage in cost-efficient production arrangements. Paraguay is the world's largest exporter, as I mentioned before, of organic sugar, second largest producer and exporter of stevia, 6th largest soy exporter, and 8th largest beef exporter. Indeed, my country has the potential to be a global provider of stevia. The most important market for stevia is currently the food and beverage industry, where buyers employ as a sweetener and flavoring agent with 0 calories. Other important stevia markets include health and tea, and cold healthy encourage the Indian city importers to take note on this particular opportunity. It is worth to mention that Paraguay, as a Mercosur state, party to Mercosur has access to a market of more than 260 million inhabitants. Paraguay is rightly positioned among the 10 countries in the world that have the greatest availability of arable land and inhabitants, with 4.8 million hectares of agricultural and livestock areas. 50% of this area is dedicated to organic products, organic farming products. The countryside employs 20% of the Paraguayan force directly in the agricultural sector. Added to this, there are thousands of jobs related to agricultural production in industries, commerce, transportation, and related services. Paraguay has the potential to establish itself as a supplier of healthy and high-quality food worldwide. It is currently a producer of raw materials, semi-processed foods and ingredients, dairy products, and beverages such as mineral water, flavored water, juices, nectars, and finished foods such as cookies, nogas, baked goods, infusion, and sweeteners. We are also the third largest sweet water aquifer, the aquifer Guarani. The country is going through a process of diversification of energy matrix. We have the largest hydro plant productivity in the world, the Itaipu Dam. In recent times, the production of non-traditional goods, oils and derived products, including biofuels, bioplastics, and other derivatives from soybeans, sunflowers, sesame, and eventually canola has increased. Cassava has gained importance in a raw material for the production of bioplastics. The agro industry also presents growth opportunities in the field of aromatic and medicinal herbs. I learned that Sikkim has more than 900 herbs. Also in Paraguay, we have more than 3,000 types of herbs that needs to be researched and also systematized. I think we can learn much from Sikkim in this regard. There is an abundance of tropical and citrus fruits with enormous growth potential, such as oranges, grapefruit, mangoes, bananas, guavas, passion fruit, melons, among many others. Paraguay offers excellent conditions for a wide variety of vegetables such as tomatoes, onions, cucurbits, beans, and manure. We can also promote joint venture type of association for the development of new crops like curcuma, turmeric, and other spices like ginger. The supply of forest products from Paraguay has been characterized by the supply of high-value timber species from native forests. The current state is one of transition in the use of raw material, with a tendency to process wood logs from fast-growing plantation, with 60% of processing of wood logs from plantation and 40% from native species. For the development of forestry plantation, Paraguay has a large area of land suitable for the development of high-productivity forestry plantation. Some studies indicate that 45% of the territory has potential for forestry production. In conclusion, I would say that Paraguay has become a bright spot for economic growth in South America. Buoyed by robust agricultural sector, business-friendly government policies, and low cost of labor, the country has experienced significant growth in recent years. I would strongly reiterate that Paraguay has a unique position in a regional and global level to aspire to be a leader in production and export of very high growth sectors. The momentum is right now with it has the characteristic of a vibrant new India mission opened last year and inaugurated by Dr. Jaishankar, jointly with other high visits in the recent past. The interaction between our people are mounting. Finally, I would like to mention that Paraguay and India has also recently signed an MOU for the promotion of tourism sector of both countries. In this regard, some farm tour delegation from India has visited Paraguay, and these activities can also be replicated with the beautiful and hospitable state of Sikkim. I believe that agribusiness, organic products, academic and cultural exchange in tourism offers the best field for collaboration, cooperation, and partnership between Sikkim and our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency, for the presentation. I'd now like to request Mr. Jason Keats Matthew Hall, High Commissioner, Jamaican High Commission, to please share his thoughts with us.
Namaskar, good afternoon. Honorable members of the day, fellow colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I suppose given the paucity of time, I'm going to have to do a Usain Bolt version of my presentation. So just try and keep up with me. As my colleagues have done before me, I must congratulate firstly India on its very ambitious program for the G20 presidency, and also to CII putting together this P20. And like my colleague in Pharmaceuticals, I feel a little left out not being part of G20, so I've actually created a J20. But again, because of the paucity of time, I'll give you 5 of them. So, you know, Jamaica, I hail from Jamaica, a land of superlatives. Easily, in per capita terms, one of the most remarkable places you will find, by way of our excellence, our legacy of excellence in sport and in music. And in many ways, I see many similarities between Sikkim and Jamaica, both as countries dependent on tourism and with tremendous potential. I noted with great interest your presentation about tourism, Mr. Srivastava. And in my J20, I have a few points. We're here to talk about intersecting points where we can collaborate vis-a-vis G2B, B2B, and of course my favorite H2H. I'll tell you more about that later on. So in terms of tourism, you know, we all recognize tourism as a key economic driver and this multiplier effect that it plays. And it is also the most vulnerable of industries. And in this regard, Jamaica, also a mature tourism destination, has created the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, and they're now building a fund. And this is an area where we can collaborate very closely. Of course, I should point out that Jamaica and India share over 60 years of uninterrupted diplomatic relations. So it is good to now be here in Sikkim, where we can further strengthen that relation and collaborate in particular in areas of tourism. I also note your comments about homestay, and of course community-based tourism is the most sustainable form of tourism and is an area in which Jamaica has done extremely well in terms of communicating that product and engaging with the actual tourists. Another point of engagement, which I note that you mentioned, was your engagement with the travel trade. And this is an area where Jamaica has been particularly innovative. We were actually the first tourism board to use a website, Little Jamaica, believe that. And so we have always led at the forefront of innovation in marketing, brand positioning. And of course, I dare say that CII hosting this event here in Sikkim is taking it to new heights. I think you should use that in your next tourism campaign. So there's also the matter of linkages in tourism. When you think about the tourism industry, there are leakages because a lot of the tour packages are booked overseas and sometimes the funds are not retained in destination. And so what we have created in Jamaica were opportunities to create linkages. I speak specifically to joining, for example, agricultural output directly with tourism consumption and how you integrate the various sectors. Tourism is a multi-sectoral approach involving various sectors, and so what we sought to do was to strengthen the linkages between the sectors, and that's an area where we could also collaborate. Another interesting area is talking about strategies for attracting foreign direct investment. Crafting multiple value propositions, because of course, in the business of attracting investment, it's a very competitive field, as is tourism. You spoke of measuring impacts. We have also created specific economic modeling tools that enable us to accurately calculate the impact, for example, of staging an event. So if it's a sporting event or a cultural festival, we use this tool to gauge what the actual impact will be by way of economic contribution and, of course, the inherent cost. So that's just a bit on tourism. Other areas that I think we could collaborate on are, of course, collaboration in sport. Little Jamaica has won over a third of the total medals to be won in all sprinting activities. And this is only surpassed by the US, who exceeds our population by a factor of 100. So, and one of the things I'm always asked, why do Jamaicans run so fast? That's another discourse, but I'll tell you, one of the things is our topography, and you have that topography here. So these children that I see walking to school in the morning, climbing these hills, they are building critical muscle to become the next Usain Bolts. So we can help you along in that area as well in terms of technical expertise. And that segues naturally to collaboration in education. We recognize education as future building, and I couldn't help but note the amount of academic institutions just on the brief drive coming up here. And I thought to myself that this is an area where we would do well to fashion academic exchanges. If there's one thing that COVID taught us, it separated us physically when we had to go into quarantine, but it brought us together digitally. And so no matter the distance, we can fashion platforms of collaboration on an educational basis. Given Jamaica's strategic positioning, and I know all of my colleagues in here, especially those from Latin America and the Caribbean, will talk about their positioning. If you look at a map, it's undebatable. Jamaica is right at the center. And so this strategic geographical location lends itself specifically to becoming a gateway for Indian innovation to the region, to the Caribbean region, to the wider Caribbean region, to the Americas. And of course, we benefit from some very unique and favorable trading relationships with North America in particular. So when you spoke about your challenges in the pharmaceutical industry, I thought to myself that this would be an excellent opportunity for you to avail yourself of Jamaica's strategic geographic positioning. Finally, I mentioned H to H. So G to G, you know, is government to government. B to B is business to business. H to H is heart to heart. And so Jamaica, being the land of Rwanda, we look forward to having significant cultural exchanges. You have a remarkable culture here, as do we, and I certainly look forward to hearing some good, solid reggae music resonating through these hills and valleys. So, thank you very much for the very warm welcome. It's been an absolute delight being here. We look forward to coming back, and we certainly hope that coming out of this, we will further build and strengthen the relationship between our two countries. Jai Hind, Jai Sikkim, and Jai Jamaica.
Thank you, Mr. Jason Hall, for your interesting talk. The next speaker is Mrs. Martine Amdahl Botheim, Minister Councillor and Deputy Head of Mission, Royal Embassy of Norway.
Distinguished speakers on the stage, representatives from the government of India, of Sikkim, ambassadors, dear friends and colleagues. It's really a great pleasure to be here with you today. This is a place where new connections can be made and where new insights can become opportunities. The opportunity for green growth in India is enormous. And in Sikkim, I have been impressed to learn about your organic farming, preservation of forests, and your eco-friendly policies. And there are more opportunities. So what can Norway bring to the table in Sikkim? Well, it is not a coincidence that your Prime Minister Modi just last year expressed a very strong interest in Nordic solutions for the green transition. Norway is a leader in various forms of renewable energy and in green technology. And we are really impressed by the Indian government's ambitions for expanding renewable energy, and the same here in Sikkim. This is fully in line with Norwegian policy. Norway has established a climate investment fund for investments in renewable energy in emerging economies. Already, 2 investments have been made in India, both in solar production. In Norway, we are building green technology and competence on the world-class skills and expertise gained from years of offshore work and industrial innovation in the oil and gas industry. We also have over a 100-year-long history of developing and making good use of hydropower. In short, we are now increasingly using our deep knowledge and lean adaptability towards building a green and sustainable society. And we are not planning to keep our knowledge or our competence a secret. Now we want to bring it to India and to Sikkim. The number of Norwegian companies that operate here in India has doubled already since 2013, and the Norwegian presence is already significant and growing. Many of our biggest and most important companies, like Statkraft, Aker Solutions, Equinor, and DNB, are already established here, and they are great representatives of Nordic societies and businesses, reliable, ethical, and competent. Statkraft, a 100% state-owned Norwegian company, the largest in renewable energy in Europe, is ready to make a concrete investment here in Sikkim. An investment that will provide finance, jobs, and clean energy, and perhaps lead to even more businesses. From the Norwegian Embassy, we support this in any way that we can. Furthermore, after having learned more about Sikkim, both from our dialogue with your resident commissioner in Delhi and from this excellent G20 visit, I believe that there are Norwegian companies with relevant experience and competences within many fields, such as geotechnical studies for tunneling and landslides prevention, in bamboo-related industries, in disaster management, and then also technical expertise on tunneling, tunnel safety, road building, on permafrost, and maybe even snow clearing. To make sure that we increase trade and investment that will benefit us all, we need to improve the framework conditions. For all companies, regardless of nationality, a stable and predictable framework, transparency, and a level playing field is crucial. So from Norway, we note with enthusiasm the positive remarks from the Indian government about the potential and benefits of a free trade agreement, and we hope that such an agreement can be concluded in the near future. I also wish to highlight the support that the Norwegian government provides through the UN and through the World Bank and others that again supports sustainable development, such as preservation of biodiversity, climate resilience, and climate adaptation, and both at the national and at the state level, and also here in Sikkim. And after my experience here in Sikkim, I will tell all my Norwegian friends and my family to visit Sikkim, to do trekking, mountaineering, and hang gliding, and I will tell Norwegian tour operators about the beautiful nature here and the friendly people of Sikkim. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Martin Bortheim, for your kind words and insights. I'd now like to invite Mr. Christian Kamel, Deputy Head of Mission, Embassy of Sweden, to please come and say a few words.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to thank the G20 Secretariats, the Confederation of Indian Industry, and the government of Sikkim for organizing this event and for inviting us for great hospitality. Let me assure our gracious hosts that we, as guests, feel very much welcome. Thank you. I pay this my very first visit to Northeast India at this very important year, this point in time, when Sweden is holding the presidency of the European Union, concurrently with India holding its G20 presidency. This year is also a jubilee year for the Indo-Swedish partnership. Diplomatic relations between Sweden and India were established in 1948, and 2023 therefore marks 75 years of close bilateral diplomatic relations. This said, business relations between our two nations have been ongoing for even longer. The Swedish company Ericsson, for instance, did its first business in India 120 years ago in 1903. And today, Swedish companies contribute to more than 220,000 jobs in India, of which more than 8,200 in Northeast India. A steadily rising number of Swedish companies, 263 at last count, have established themselves in India. Our trade and investment partnership is thriving with around 247 billion rupees in foreign direct investments from Sweden to India, whereas Swedish imports from your country amounted to more than 190 billion rupees in 2021. So it's very solid business cooperation going on between our countries. Also, the friendship is clear from the more than 45,000 Swedish tourists that visit India every year. We share ambitions for the future. Our countries both prioritize an increase in organic farming and development of the agricultural sector. To take just one example of what has already been done from Sikkim, where we found ourselves, the Swedish company De Laval provided its expertise already to the Sikkim government, as well as training to entrepreneurs in the dairy market, which in the longer term will most likely increase the dairy supply from Sikkim to India's rapidly growing population. Sweden and India also have a long tradition of friendly and mutually beneficial cooperation in the health sector. Swedish companies from the pharmaceutical and medical technology sectors are well established in India for decades. Our company AstraZeneca developed and produced pharmaceuticals in India, and Medicover hospitals currently provide first-class healthcare in 16 cities. Now, as mentioned, out of the 220,000 jobs in India that Swedish companies contribute to, currently 8,200 are in North America. So I very much welcome the initiative to bring us representative of foreign states to this part of India, to the northeast, for us to learn more about the state in this part of huge and amazing India. We share your hopes that the presence of international companies, in my case Swedish companies and businesses, will be even larger also in this part. So we have a long friendship and long cooperation. I was born in 1975, the same year Sikkim joined India as its 22nd state, and visiting Sikkim and seeing the unlocked potential for further engagements, it strengthens my belief in the Swedish-Indian relationship overall, that it will grow even stronger in the future. Thank you very much for hosting us, and I wish us all joint success.
Thank you, Mr. Kamir, for sharing your thoughts with us. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being such a wonderful audience. We only have 4 more speakers from the delegation now. I'd like to invite to the podium Mr. Nurul Islam, Deputy High Commissioner, Bangladesh High Commission.
respected dignitaries on the dais, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to the Confederation of Indian Industry for organizing the G20 meeting here in beautiful city, Bangkok, Sikkim. I also thank the state government and the organizers for welcoming us so warmly and for extending hospitality. India has been a tested and trusted partner for Bangladesh over the years. And in the last decade, the bilateral relationship has been transformational, especially for the northeast region in many ways. The average distance between Bangladesh's major cities and different northeastern states is between 20 to 300 kilometers. As a result, Bangladesh is always considered crucial for this region's connectivity with mainland India by rail, road, and river routes. Because of such strategic location, there are several opportunities for trade, transportation, commerce, and people-to-people contact between Bangladesh and the northeast, particularly with Sikkim. In fact, the ties between Bangladesh and northeast determine the current pattern of commerce between the two countries. In Bangladesh, there is a high demand of raw materials like minerals and other natural resources which are found in northeast India. From our side, we can increase import of resources such as coal, limestone, stone chips, bamboo from northeast region. On the other hand, a state like Sikkim can import finished goods like cement, plastic, or synthetic household goods, ready-made garments, processed food, soft beverages from Bangladesh. This could make a more compelling case for increased trade between Bangladesh and the northeast. We can also develop health and religious tourism in addition to other natural places of interest in Sikkim. However, the first step towards increasing tourism between Bangladesh and the seven sisters will be to make fully operational all the border checkpoints to these roads. We need to look into the possibility of adding more border checkpoints and developing adequate infrastructure to support the easy movements of goods and people. Sikkim's hydropower potential may contribute to enhancing ongoing power cooperation between the two countries. Moreover, the geographic location of Bangladesh is ideal for global trade and commerce with its unique strategic location, regional connectivity, and worldwide access. Thus, there remain conducive conditions for harnessing trade link between Bangladesh and Sikkim through Siliguri, including Bhutan and Nepal. Again, taking advantage of improved connectivity, better infrastructure, and competitive wages, Indian investors can set up big industries in Bangladesh and then can export the products to northeast region, including Sikkim. Let me briefly touch upon some other points. The G20 platform and private sector can engage in developing skilled and trained human resources in countries like Bangladesh, which could act as a key component of a sound tourism infrastructure. At the same time, community-based tourism, which with a focus on youth, could be a viable pathway to achieve economic empowerment through employment generation. Vaccines and essential health technologies need to be considered as global public goods in the face of any health emergency like COVID-19. An adequate local production promotes easier access to medicine and vaccines. A country like Bangladesh has a vibrant pharmaceutical industry which has the potential to manufacture affordable and good quality vaccines and medicines. But we need technical know-how, right technology, adequate resources, as well as trips and patent waivers. We welcome any joint venture and partnership with the concerned business communities of the G20 countries in this regard. Lastly, with regard to organic farming, we need to improve our present capacity to keep a balance between public demand for organic food and organic food farming. As organic farming is way more expensive than modern farming, countries like Bangladesh seek more investment from business conglomerates and large companies to reap the potential of organic farming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nural, for sharing your thoughts with us. The next speaker is Ms. Sofia Salas Monch. She is Minister Counselor and Consul General, Embassy of Costa Rica.
Thank you, and I promise to be super short. Our sincere gratitude to the Government of India, Government of Mizoram, CII for this invitation. I had the opportunity to be in Mizoram 2 weeks back, and I have to say that the northeastern states have touched my heart. It's been, again, very, very pleasant to come to such a warm welcome and the warm hospitality that the Sikkim government and its people have shown us since yesterday. For those of you who may not know, Costa Rica is a small country in the center of the American continent, 5.1 million people. 74 years back, our government took the decision, it was the first country to voluntarily do so, to abolish its army, and we haven't had an army for 74 years. The money that used to go to the army was redirected to health and education, and that made a huge change in the history and development of our nation. We are known as a pioneer in ecotourism. In Costa Rica, as I mentioned, 5 million people. Before pandemic, we were receiving over 3 million tourists per year. Last year, we were able to come up to 75% of the tourist intake previous to pandemic. So although we don't have high altitude mountaineering like you do, I think there's a lot of very innovative ecotouristic schemes that we can share with you. We discussed with Mizoram, and I'll be happy to take this further. And Mr. Bonco, you mentioned about hydro electricity potential. Costa Rica, I'm very proud to say, has been resorting to 98% electricity from renewable sources, mostly hydroelectric. We're also blessed with lots of rain, and we've been doing that for over 10 consecutive years. So our government state agency in electricity has very, very ample experience that we can probably share with you. So last but not least, I would have to disagree with my esteemed colleague from Jamaica, and I would argue that Costa Rica is in the center of the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, right in the middle of America, perfect gateway into the American continent, same time zone as the US. We have ample trade agreements with so many countries, and IT companies and also pharmaceuticals have identified Costa Rica as one of the best nearshore operations. So we'll be happy to take this further. Our investment agency has been ranked as one of the best in the world, and I'll be happy to discuss with some of the pharmaceutical representatives also here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Sofia Monch, for your brief presentation. I'd now like to request Mr. Ricardo Daniel Delgado Munoz to please come and say a few words. He is Head of Economic Affairs and Commercial Promotion, Embassy of Mexico.
Namaskar, buenas tardes, hello everyone. I am Daniel Delgado, I'm Head of Economic Affairs and Commercial Promotion at the Mexican Embassy, but I'm also holding a second position that is holding the door, and I don't want to steal more minutes of your time, so I will be brief and I will only highlight 3 main points. Is how we can expand Mexican presence in Northeast India, how we can seek for a cooperation between Mexico and Sikkim, and also how can Sikkim seek opportunities of investment and commercial promotion in Mexico. So I think right now we're in one of the best moments of the relationship between Mexico and India, a long-standing relationship of 70 years. And one of these reasons was COVID-19. When we were seeking our medicines, we were seeking our vaccines, India was one of the countries that actually didn't give us clear no. They say, okay, just hold on for a minute. We will try our best, and you actually meet with your commitment. So thank you very much. And from that moment, we strengthened our relationship and cooperation of the health sector. And also many health companies are based in our country. I'm happy to be here with some pharma. Also Zydus are located in Mexico. So I'm pretty sure that all these health companies that are being based here in Sikkim could also be based in Mexico. And for Mexican companies, we don't have like a great amount of companies in India, but the amount of companies that we have are one of the best and bigger companies in Mexico. Let me give you an example. Bimbo. Bimbo here has the local brand name that I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Is Harvest Gold. It's actually owned by a Mexican company that is one of the largest bread companies in the world, and it's Mexican. So I'm pretty sure they will be also delighted to come here to Sikkim to check for commercial opportunities. Also Cinepolis, these cinema theaters. They are based in many parts of India. So here could be also a good idea to settle here. And finally, tourism. Regions that we can do ecotourism, we can do tourism about archaeological sites, religious sites. So I think we can dialogue and check like many cooperation opportunities within this regard. And well, I think one of the main reasons to actually come here is to strengthen this good relationship that we already have with India. I think we can promote it more by investing and promoting businesses between Northeast India and Mexico. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ricardo. And last but not the least, we have Ms. Mitali Nikor, Transport Specialist, World Bank Group.
Aware that I'm the last speaker, so thank you so much for your patience and for listening to this entire exercise. And a big thank you to CII, the G20 Secretariat, Government of India, Government of Sikkim for inviting the World Bank Group to join these discussions. I would just want to get your attention towards one particular initiative that we haven't yet spoken about, and one particular challenge for the Northeast, which is around regional connectivity. I think we are all conscious of the fact that many of the northeastern states are connected to the rest of India through a 27-kilometer wide Siliguri corridor, and that also restricts their ability for trading with BBRN countries, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal. The World Bank at this time is working on an initiative called Access, through which we are trying to upgrade the facilities, land ports, and land border connectivity between Bangladesh, Nepal, and India. The World Bank has made $1 billion available to Nepal and Bangladesh for the upgradation of land ports, which is currently going on at specific locations. We are open to proposals from the northeastern states, particularly Sikkim, Mizoram, Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Tripura, to look at opportunities for setting up more facilities, land border facilities, as well as infrastructure strengthening over the next few years. So look forward to hearing from most of you and to engaging more in the lunch. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mitali Nikor. We thank all the participants for the enlightening deliberations. I'm sure there is much for all our government officials and industry captains to take home some important thoughts and offers made during the talks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally come to the end of this session. Before I close this session, I would like to invite Ms. Shraddha Sharma, Member Confederation of Indian Industry Northeast Council, for the closing remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Shraddha Sharma, Director, Skipping Stones Private Limited, President of Sikkim Hotel and Restaurant Association and member CII. I feel truly blessed, honored and grateful to have this opportunity to present the vote of thanks to all present here at the B20 conference. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for being a part of this wonderful event. I would like to especially thank our overseas dignitaries and guests who have taken the time out of the busy schedule to be with us today. Your presence has made this day even more special. The perspective on global inclusive trade and economic development have opened up vistas for partnership, collaboration, and mutual growth. We are grateful to Mr. N.O. Srivastav, Additional Chief Secretary, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Government of Sikkim, for his presence here today. Sir, we understand that the department is working on promoting Sikkim tourism in a big way. We, the tourism stakeholders, welcome your initiative and feel this would immensely benefit the industry in the state, and we are confident that the tourism sector of Sikkim will reach even greater heights under your capable leadership. I thank Mr. Karma R. Bonpo, Secretary, Commerce and Industry, Government of Sikkim, for sparing his time to be with us. Your words have prompted us to visualize the possibility of investment opportunity from a new perspective. The government's vision to promote and encourage investment is surely going to benefit the state. We are thankful to Dr. S. Annabalagan, CEO, Sikkim Organic Farming Development Agency, Department of Agriculture, Government of Sikkim, on the organic farming mission of the state. Sikkim is the first organic state in India, and this is possible only with the active support and cooperation from the Sikkim Organic Farming Mission. Our special thanks to Dr. A.H. Khan, Senior VP Corporate Relations, Sun Pharmaceutical Industry Limited, Mr. Anurag Kher, Group VP Head Corporate Affairs, Glenmark Pharmaceutical Limited, in the detailed presentation of the pharma sector in Sikkim. Sikkim is the pharma hub of the country, and we laud the effort of the private sector and the government for embarking on an ambitious plan to bring more investment to the sector. There is scope to engage in the international community, with the international community, on the pharma exports from Sikkim. My heartfelt thanks to Mr. Jayant Das, Area Director Northeast, Kathmandu, Bhutan, Darjeeling, and GM Vivanta Guwahati IHCL, Mr. Manju Mittal, Co-founder, CEO, Vedant Cure Healthcare LLP, Mr. Pinsu Gyatso, General Secretary, Homestay Association of Sikkim, for giving us a detailed overview of the hospitality scene in Sikkim and how to take it forward. The tourism sector in Sikkim has evolved over the past 35 years, and today we are appropriately positioned to take the next leap. With the entry of brands like Taj in Sikkim, we know this is just the beginning. The opportunity for investment in tourism and hospitality sector is tremendous in our small, beautiful and organic state. I would like to mention a special thank you to our dynamic leader, the Honorable Chief Minister of Sikkim, Shri P.S. Gole Sir, for his vision and relentless dedication towards the entrepreneurs of Sikkim. Sir, more power to you, and we salute your effort in leading the state to a new era of progress. Last but not the least, would also like to extend my gratitude to all the officials of Government of India, Government of Sikkim, and especially CII, who have worked tirelessly to make this event a reality. Their dedication, hard work, and passion have been the driving force behind the success of this event. With these, we conclude our proceedings of the conference. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Sharma, for the closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to thank all the speakers for your informative and interesting presentation, and also to all the participants for your active participation. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. May I now request the panelists on the dais to please come forward for a group photograph. I would also like to request all the speakers amongst the delegates to please come to the stage for a group photograph.